Hi everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be looking at Soviet battle tanks for Team Yankee. We're going to try to cover all of the major variants. Forgive me if I do miss one, but I think we've got them all covered here. So, the Soviets have a wide range of main battle tanks now in the game, which is really nice because if you remember when Team Yankee first came out, all the Soviets really had as far as main battle tanks was the T-72. And while an interesting tank, it didn't match up favorably to some of the Western options that were out there. Since then, the range has really expanded. The time period that Team Yankees covered has gotten wider, and as a result, a Soviet player has a lot of cool options as far as the type of tanks they can take. All right, let's start with the oldest of the tanks, which I believe is going to be the venerable T-55. Now, I have a T-55 AM model, but we'll talk about both of those. The T-55. First up, we're going to talk about the T-55 family, the T-55 and the T-55 AM. The model you see in front of you is the AM version, but we're going to talk about both. So let's talk about the kind of vanilla T-55 first. It has a front armor of 13, side of 9, top of 2, with a tactical of 10, terrain dash 14, cross country dash 20 inches, road dash 24. Cross check of only a 4+, and the anti-tank on its main gun is 17. So it's it's basically a chaff tank. You take a ton of these. I've seen many lists that feature 30 of these, 30+, and you still have like a third of your 2/3 of your points to spend on your list on other things. So they can come very cheap, but front armor 13 and anti-tank 17 don't win gun battles against more modern tanks. The T-55 AM variant, which was featured in the Warsaw Pact book, for a lot of those nations, you have front armor 14. It gets one better. Otherwise, same identical stats, except that it has a different gun that is AT-18. Just talking about this family overall, the T-55, again, it's dirt cheap. That's its big advantage, although it is a little hindered by that cross-check of 4+. If you play with a lot of terrain, you might be leaving a lot of these guys behind as you dash forward. But that is a look at the T-55s. Now, next up, we have basically a T-64M, and we're going to look at this T-64 model. And this is basically an export version. This has front armor 14, so it's the same as the T-55 AM on the front. Side is 9, top is 2. Tactical is identical to the T-55 family as well, with a tactical of 10, terrain dash of 14, and so on. But it does have a AT-21 gun, so the gun can cause NATO some concern with AT-21. The next tank we want to look at is the T-72M, and this is as we slowly progress up the ladder. The T-72M variant has a front armor of 15, side armor of 8, top armor of 2. The T-72 family does tend to have a little bit weaker side armor. They have a tactical of 10, terrain dash 16, road cross country 24, road dash 28, 3-up cross check with an AT-21 gun. So the advantages there are, yes, it loses a pip of armor on the side, but it is faster dashing and a better cross country check, as well as a much bigger and scarier gun. Next up, we have just the regular old T-72. Now, the T-72 is, again, that kind of original tank from Team Yankee. It has a front armor of 16, side armor of 8, top armor of 2. It has basically the same the same speed, tactical 10, terrain dash 16, cross country 24, road dash 28. So it's a pretty speedy thing, but it does have that 125 millimeter gun. That's AT-22. This is the first of the AT-22 tanks that we have in our list. As a result, with AT-22, it can be a pretty scary tank. You do, though, have the fact that for every T-72 you could have 2 or 3 T-55s in your list, if not more. So that's the kind of vanilla T-72. Next up, we have the frontline version of the T-64 back. So we'll put that one back out. Its armor gets one better: front armor 17, side armor 9, top armor 2, with a cross-country dash of, tactical of 14. And it's one of the first tanks now that we're talking about that has an improved tactical speed. Cross-country of 16, terrain dash 16, cross-country 24, road dash 28, cross-check 3+, and again, it's got an AT-22 gun rocking its chassis. Next up, we have the T-72B. So this is a new model, again, released as part of that Warsaw Pact release. It is a really interesting tank. So obviously it's an upgraded tank with ERA. It's got a front armor of 18, side 9, top 2, tactical of 10, terrain dash 16, cross country 24, road dash 28, 3+ cross check, and it has that same 125 millimeter anti-tank 22 on it, which is again a very, very good gun. The T-72 is really nice. The T-72 upgraded B, front armor 18, makes it really tough for earlier Western main battle tanks. The ones that have AT-20, like the original Abrams, are going to have a hard time penetrating the T-72 from the front, particularly at range where you can't even penetrate it. The best you could hope for would be a glance. You really need AT-22 or AT-23 to start dealing with T-72Bs from the front, or take the route of trying to take them out from the side. T-72B, though, pretty impressive little tank. All right, next up we have the T-80. Now the T-80 is the top of the line Russian tank at the time we're filming this. I don't know if we're going to have a better one come out eventually or not, but I really like the way that the T-80 looks. I think it's a very cool looking tank, and in game it is pretty cool. So it has a front armor of 20, side armor of 10, top armor of 2. So it's the best armored of all of these tanks that we're talking about today. Its 125 millimeter gun is AT-22 as well. Tactical for this tank is 14, so it's another one of those like the T-64 that has a tactical of 14. Terrain dash 18, cross country 28, road dash a massive 32 inches with a cross country check of 2+, the best cross country check of all of these tanks that we have here. So it is the fastest, it can cross terrain the best, and it has a really good gun, and the armor is almost impenetrable to most allied weapons from the front. Even something like the AT-22 guns on the Leopard are going to struggle versus front armor 20. At range, when it goes up to 21 because of range, you can't even penetrate it anymore. All the best you could do might be bail it out. So they are really cool. The other good thing or cool thing about the T-80 is you can take them in a formation that is hit on a 4+, so something that Soviets don't get to do very often, and that just keeps your T-80s alive that much longer. But overall, the T-80 is again the top of the line, but you do pay quite a few points for it, and you could take a lot of T-55s for the cost of one T-80. So Soviet tanks, again, you've got a lot to consider when we're talking about our Soviet tanks. Even the weakest one, like the T-55, has its place on the battlefield because it's so cheap. It's similar in cost or cheaper to things like Bradleys or armored fighting vehicles that only have a front armor of anywhere from 2 to 6. And still, I mean, the T-55 with a front armor of 13 means a tank needs to deal with a T-55. Or something, something that has anti-tank missiles. Heavier anti-tank is going to be required to take these guys out or flank them. But when they have that many, they're coming at you and, looking to flank you. The AT on the T-55 is only 17, but that's pretty deadly against side armor against Allied main battle tanks. So there's a place for the T-55 on the list. I think there's a nice place for everything here, depending on your play style, because there is basically at least one Russian tank starting at front armor 13, going all the way to 20. So depending on what you're looking for in armor, there's a tank that's at that level. Anti-tank wise, we're going from AT-17 to 22. That's kind of the range, the lower to max. At the current time, AT-22 is pretty much like top of the line for Soviets. The only place you'll see higher AT is maybe some of the anti-tank missiles you'll see on the air assets like the Hind or the Frogfoot with their anti-tank missiles. Those are pretty scary, but for the most part on the ground, AT-22 is going to be the highest you're going to get. And for the most part, except for some very rare, super late war, Allied main battle tanks is usually more than enough anti-tank to take them out. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to kind of talk about all the cool variations you've got in these different Russian tanks. I just love the fact that we have such a big range of options for the Soviets, that it's improved so much from back in the day when all you had was this guy, who I've also got to say is probably my least favorite model wise. I just think compared to all the rest, it's just a little bit boring. The other ones, especially like now the new T-72B with all the reactive armor, it just looks so much cooler. And Battlefront's improved as a model company as well, and I think you see that in this version of the tank compared to the later versions. But there you go, guys. This is just a look at Soviet armor in Team Yankee. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider giving us a like and subscribe. Click that bell to receive notification when we release new content. Also, check out our new super chat feature where you can, in the comments, leave a comment, and if you'd like, donate to the channel. It's always appreciated and lets us know what game systems are more popular and which ones we should produce more content for. As always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.